Cartman Productions, and today we're putting lights on the Roadkill. So, as you can see, I have these little brackets here. These are the brackets we're going to be using, at least for the rear. Now, I figured I'd put these on here before I start recording, or at least tack them to make sure that this concept is going to work. But, you can see we have two little holes in the back of the light. Scorched a little bit. Anyways, we got two holes in the back of the light. It's going to be our brake light, by the way. And as you can see, gosh, it's hot. But as you can see, the holes match up. So this light can now mount onto there. I think that's pretty cool. So we have our first light. Now we got to figure out how exactly we're going to wire it. So, let's see here. Our battery is going to be right there. So I've got to figure out a way to run. First things first, I have no clue how that light this light even gets powered. So, I think that's the first order of business. Figure out how to power these poor lights. Now, it did come with a wire, a small wire, if I can find it. Now, I've got a couple wires here. Let's take this onto a flatter surface. What we're going to do is we are going to use a little 9-volt and see if we can power this light. Now, to my understanding, the negative is ground to the frame because the headlights that came on it were grounded to the frame, and the negative from the stock battery was also grounded to the frame for the engine. Now, looking in here, I'm not 100% sure, but it almost looks like there's a metal piece down on that side. I can probably pop the top of this light off if I try, but I'll do that. Hold on a second. Turning off the welder and turning down the fan. So, let's see here if we can pry the top of this cover off. There we go. Yeah, so see, there's what's a minus and there's a plus. So, if we go ahead and power that, there's going to be a bolt through that. Let me grab some bolts. This is probably the first time I've ever decided to use one. First time I've ever decided to use one of these boys. It's like a little pack of bolts and stuff. Anyways, I never use them, but now I have a use for it. So if I go ahead and put that bolt through there, obviously it's got something to attach to. Now the other bolt doesn't, but that wire there is a flathead connector, which means I have this little thing of connectors. Who knows how old this is, but you can see we've got a connector there. I've got to stick the wire through that. Then that, in theory. Oh, come on, man. It's too big. Yay. Right, let me look around for a second. Alright guys, just found the wire. This is the wire that it came with. So that had better. There we go. That plugs right in. And this wire goes through that little hole there. Or this hole. I'm gonna run it through that hole. Nope, I'm gonna run it through that hole because that one's closer. Pop that on there and pull the wire through. Now that's pretty slick. I quite like that. So negative's ground to the frame, positive is running out here to a wire. So that's pretty cool. Nice and easy to deal with. And then we can mount this to something. Let me grab a 9-volt. So, as you can see, I have my 9-volt here. And if we attach, oh gosh, okay, that one's a minus, so the minus goes on the bolt. Heck, that might just reach like this. So minus goes on the bolt. Watch this like blind me or something, and the positive goes there. Look at that, guys. That is pretty cool. Look at that. Sorry. I'm just quite happy it's working. So now, if I go ahead and grab some nuts for these bolts. Very cool. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these bolts out of here for now. And I'm going to go ahead and weld up the rest of the mounts for that, which you're going to see right now. Those are pretty sturdy on there. I love smoking. But those should work pretty slick. I like how that looks so far. So now let's take a look at the other lights I have. So here's my box of goodies. So let's just go through this so I can show you what we got. These are going to be the rear turn signals. As you can see, they have bolt holes on the inside of them as well as the same ground system, so those should be real nice and good. Then we have 4 of those, I believe. That's a pedal switch from my other 2. Not there. Alright, well, no, I don't have 4 of these. I have 2 of these. These are the front turn signals. So, I know I'm using marker lights for everything, but they work and they're cheap, so why not? Anyways, so yeah, these are going to be the front turn signals. These are going to be the rear. Most people don't need to see where I'm turning from the front anyway as much, so that's why I have smaller front ones. Here's one of our blinker circuits. We have 2 of these. Now, I'm not entirely sure how these work, but I'm pretty sure you just put the plus through there and it makes it blink. We're going to test one of these out here in just a minute. We also have wire splitters. So the wires coming off the battery get split and then go into the switches, and then they probably get split more as they go out to the lights. Here is the turn signal light switch, which if I pull this out of here, the main plus goes in there and it splits. One of this is going to be the plus for the left side, one of this is going to be the plus for the right side. So when you turn this switch left, the left lights, left turn signal's on, middle means off, right means turning right. So that's what we're going for there. And then if we go ahead and put that back in the box. Now we have our pedal switch. So this is going to go down on the pedal, and when you push down the pedal, it's going to push that switch there. And that's what's going to tell the brake light to activate. Now I have some terminal strips, junction boxes, whatever you want to call them. I just grabbed those, figured I might need them. These are going to be the tail lights. So just some little tail lights. Those are going to be on the side. So those should work pretty good. That's pretty much what I got here. I've got fuses and a fuse box in case we want to put one of those up. In case we have a problem with there being too much power, but I don't think there will be. Especially considering the battery I have sucks. We'll probably get a new battery anyway, but also got wires in here. I'm using 14 gauge and 16 gauge. I think we just bought 14 gauge though. No, this is 16. Anyways, it's fairly decent sized wire. I don't think we'll have problems with the wires burning up on us. Now these are still warm, so we gotta give these some time to cool down. But in the meantime, let's take a look at what else we got. I've got other goodies here. If I pull these over here, I have some muffler stuff in this little baggie here, but mainly it's these little guys. And those are my light mounts. Problem is I need 2 of these per light, so I can only mount one more light right now until I head to the store and get me some more of them. So it turns out I don't have any extra, so this is what we're gonna have to work with. Anyway, so we have the mounts for the brake light in. Now it's time to get the first turn signal in. So if I go ahead and attempt to mount this camera in a decent position. Gosh. This is mounting on the rack on the back of this whole thing, so it's kind of hard to get it to stay. There we go. So, the next light, the turn signal, is going to go on here. So the first one is going to mount right there. The second one's going to mount somewhere over here. We're going to have to see where. So, I'm going to go ahead and tack this boy in real fast. And then we'll figure out where the other one needs to go. We got that boy tacked in. Good enough for me. So now, let's get our light. So just like our brake light, this light comes in a box. If that wasn't already obvious, we've got the light. So, as you can see, it looks like our plus wire is already mounted, which is nice and dandy. It's got like this little foam thing on here to keep it from damaging whatever it's in contact with. This is a cab light, so that's probably why, but that's going to look sick on the side there. It's like that, hanging out on the side. That's going to be awesome. So, let's go ahead and pull this apart. Nice little replaceable bulb in there. That's good. So if we go ahead and put a bolt in there, now this one can be a little bit bigger. This one can be a little bit, not by that much though. Alright, so I guess we're still going to use this tiny bolt, but you can go in there. So let's see here, if I go ahead and just kind of come in this side here. Yeah, I'm going to have to take the bulb out. There we go. Put that in, put the bulb back in. There we go. So there's our minus, and this is our plus. So let's give this guy a shot. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, let's go ahead and get this boy mounted then. Or figure out where we need to mount it. So, of course, this side mounts right there. So that mounts there. Our second mount needs to be right there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Pull on the sticker too so we're not dealing with it. So, this mount then goes in. Right there. You gotta be kidding me, man. Come on. It's right there in the middle. Alright, if I do it right here, tilted, we can make it work. That was starting well, but that's okay. Our lights are ready to mount. So, or at least two of them. So, if I go ahead and grab another one of these little bolts here. Little bolts. And we size it up. That's gonna work. Oh man, I'm so excited for this thing. That was smart, dropping the bolt. This bolt in here. Oh man, dude, things are starting to come together. It's gonna be awesome. Alright. It's 8mm or oh, I think they're 9mm. We can mount these lights. Oh man, it's gonna be great. Oh, I don't know about you, but that looks awesome. Imagine that on both sides. Those are turn signals. Oh man. Alright, so let me go ahead and grab the 9V. And we'll go ahead and test it out. That looks cool, look at that. Alright, let's grab one of those flashing circuits. Alright, we got our little flashing circuit here. So if I go ahead and put the minus, oh, this is going to be hard. I put the minus on the bolt, the plus touching that. I'm going to go ahead and look this up. I'll be right back.